Okay, now let's go over how the scan network or ad attribution network works internally once a user does not consent. So in the scenario, of course, there's an ad click from Facebook that goes into the Play Store or App Store, and from there on the user installs the app and then opens the app. This is the first time when you can interact with the ad attribution network. In the normal scenario would show the ATT prompt, the app tracking transparency prompt, and if the user consents, of course everything is great, you have the IDFA and then you can do deterministic attribution. If the user, however, does not consent, then we need to go through the ad attribution network or SKAd network or SCAD network, right? So it's all the same, by the way. What happens then is you need to set up a scan mapping, which is a mapping that encodes values to events, meaning that if you would before send like there has been a download, there has been a registration, there has been a purchase individually to Facebook, you would now send those events through the ad attribution network. Meaning that you would, for example, 0 is the default event for a download, which you most likely trigger a video, which you trigger right away once you open the app or after you know the consent. Afterwards, the registration should be something that's normal in your funnel, and then afterwards the purchase. You would, for example, map those events to 0, 1, and 3, so 0 for download, this is default, and then once you have a registration, you would update the conversion value to 1, and once you have a purchase, you would update the conversion value to 2. Which also means that those have to be hierarchical, meaning that if you would, for example, have the purchase 0 for download, purchase for 1, registration for 2, and the registration comes before the purchase, which is very likely to happen, then you would basically send the highest value always to the SKAd network or to the ad attribution network. Which then means that you wouldn't send a purchase, you would send a registration. So keep that needs to be kept in mind, that those values need to be hierarchical based on the business context. And of course, what you notice probably is that we cannot send values or like metrics. So we cannot say there has been a purchase of 30 euros, there has been a purchase of $60, there has been a purchase of 2,000 yen or whatsoever. Because all those flags are binary. The reason why is I honestly can tell you the reason, but I can tell you how you can model this differently. That's why we have like values from 0 to 63 that you can assign, and you would normally not use all 63 values. Most of the time, if you want to have different value ranges, you would do this by using like one of the later stage values. So you would say a purchase of 30 euros would be I don't know, that would be 4, would be 5 or whatsoever. A purchase of 60 euros would be another value, and so on and so on. That's how you can model different value ranges, but you never get the exact price, right? So that's something that is very important. So what's happening afterwards is the ad attribution network receives the value, does some anonymization, and then forwards, after a delay, also forwards the value to, for example, Facebook. It doesn't forward like what user has purchased, it forwards that a specific campaign has gotten a conversion value. So it would say campaign 124 has, campaign ID 124 has gotten the conversion event with the value 2. And of course, like Facebook needs to know what conversion event 2 means. Therefore, you have to, for example, not only implement the scan mapping into your app so that you know which event is the correct encoding, but also share this with the marketing provider, in this case Facebook, so that Facebook knows 2 is a purchase, which you can set up in the event settings. And this is, in essence, the way how this works. The topic here is now when is something being sent, because that's also important. There are essentially 3 windows. One is like from 0 to 2 days, which means that after 2 days, the updated conversion value will be sent to the SKAd network or the ad attribution network. Then from 3 to 7 days is another update that happens. So meaning that if you don't force the window to end, so meaning that you say, for example, you have a registration and the 2 days haven't passed, but you would still like to send this, you can force the value to be sent. Otherwise, it would automatically be sent after 2 days. The same with 3 to 7 days, and the same with like the last window, which is like 7 to 35 days. So meaning if you have very late conversions, for example, a subscription that happens after a trial, then you would be able to model those with the different event windows. And depending on the event windows that happens, the issue is also that the information that is being received or sent is more or less. And that's one of the biggest topics, is what's being sent at which time frame, but also the granularities, because the next part is that Apple also introduced an anonymization framework in terms of if you have a lot of values and a lot of if you have a lot of events and a lot of conversions, then it's very likely that you have the scenario that the raw encoded values being sent, so from 0 to 63. If you have less conversions, and like Apple doesn't give you the threshold of it, then you speak of coarse values, and coarse values is something that we talk about in the next section. So follow me if you're interested. It's going to get deeper and it's going to be more technical from now on.